Hey folks, welcome to the 26th Isometria Devlog. In this week's episode, I'll talk about additions to multiplayer, such as buffs, unit improvements, such as NPCs. Almost every entity in the game is now multiplayer enabled, including units, enemies, bad guys, critters, bosses, that sort of thing. For now though, let's dive in. This week I finished implementing units in the game for multiplayer. All the critters and bad guys in the game now are multiplayer enabled and are found in the game world, as well as changes to the spawn code for generating them into the game world. It is now based on the number of players that are in the game, specifically the number of chunks that are currently loaded around players. So if two players are close together, not as many enemies will spawn in your immediate vicinity, but when two players are far away from each other, both players will get an equal amount of enemies spawning around them. Other improvements to the game include the addition of buffs and debuffs. Buffs and debuffs are now correctly applied to enemies and entities that get debuffed. All particle effects and other things like that are now taken care of and handled correctly. Reductions in memory usage have been implemented. Specifically, the game now uses roughly 30 to 40% less RAM than it was before. This was accomplished by eliminating some surfaces that were being cached that were not needed and unused. By reducing the number of things that needed to be cached, I've subsequently also improved loading times and tile update times. Besides a lot of bug fixes and other improvements made behind the scenes, that's it for this week. I expect another week or two before everything is done with multiplayer. I think the last couple things I need to add are the ability for players to be on different levels at the same time, and improvements to the networking code that allow for that to happen. Otherwise, there's bound to be plenty of bugs that are associated with the game, but I intend to work those out as time progresses. Expect some new content soon. Until then, have a good week.